Hello and welcome to Scarlet Serpent Readings. Thank you so much for joining me for another pick a card reading. This timeless pick a card reading is going to be a healing message. What needs healing and how can you go about healing that area of your life. So as usual, we're going to have 3 different piles to choose from. Pile 1 is the rose quartz. Here. We have pile 2 with the green fuchsite. And then pile 3 is green calcite. Great. So if you need some more time, you could go ahead and pause the video now and choose your pile intuitively. The timestamps are going to be in the description box down below. Otherwise, I'll meet you at your pile. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the rose quartz, this reading is for you. I have right now 3 cards out, and these cards are going to tell us what needs healing. One card is an oracle card, and the 2 tarot cards are describing that. And then we're going to go into the healing message, how you can go about actually implementing that healing, and then I'll draw an additional oracle card just to close everything out, okay? So let's see what the oracle is. Kundalini Shakti. So I usually don't use this deck because I'm just not too familiar with a lot of the terminology, and while I do feel Kali's energy, I'm just not. The book is enormous, so I will be reading from it a little bit, but this could be straight away healing regarding either, a relationship. Yeah, a relationship or a masculine figure, and this feels more like kind of balancing those 2 masculine and feminine energies within yourself, and that might be something that's reflected in the external world as well. Especially though, the masculine energy, and maybe the view of male figures in general. Yeah, it could have been something that came through childhood or a father figure, or just a bad relationship that could be. Okay, so I'm just going to read randomly, and hopefully that connects in some way. We're going to say, reassure your heart that no matter what may appear to be, at a spiritual level, all is well. Let what needs to happen, happen. Okay. Within the subtle field of the body is a powerful, creative, and awakening energy known as the Kundalini. When your soul is ready, this energy, rather like a snake uncoiling, stirs and rises. Awakened, the Kundalini becomes the Kundalini Shakti, moving according to its own pace, path, and wisdom. It clears the chakras, purifying the body and mind, preparing the body to more readily receive spiritual energies, weaving through the subtle energy body. Okay, so yeah, the Kundalini, I feel most people who come to this reading would know what that is. But look, the Oracle of Kundalini Shakti indicates creativity and healing on every level. So it's like, yeah, obviously this reading is about healing, and that energy coming up would clear all of the chakras, but this does feel, just from the imagery, that healing has a lot to do with probably your root chakra and feeling stable and secure within a relationship, or just within your masculine energy as well. And I would say we're not in that portion of the reading yet, but grounding is going to be essential to this healing on a regular basis, either meditating, journeying to the lower world, or bringing that energy up. There's a lot of ways to do it, and again, most people drawn to these readings usually have an idea as to what grounds them the best. So let's look at the tarot. We have the 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, so that root chakra is coming in fairly strongly, and this is what needs healing, is the view of what security means to you, especially with 10 of Pentacles being a card of Virgo and Mercury, so kind of the expression of what that is. So yeah, it could have been a father figure who's like, the idea of security has to come from the amount of things that you have, or, you know, mostly traditional ways of feeling financially secure. Let's just try to, this is just a very hard deck to, so I do apologize. Feeling contained within the material world, and that might be something that feels inadequate in a way, but all of this is contained within the center, the self. And 10 is, again, the Malkut in the Tree of Life, so really feeling rooted. So this is all about root chakra, specifically. And then you have the King of Candles, which is the King of Wands. So the male figure is coming through very strongly here. The candles. There's almost this sense of judgment coming from that, again, probably like a father-like figure, or maybe this is something that manifested itself in relationships as well, as like your partner might have had more money, or, you know, put their chest out, like they had power because of the amount of money and wealth and items that they've had, and that might have been something that's triggered you in the past. But with the chandelier, it's kind of like looking down upon you and others in that judgment. So really it's the relationship with wealth, with the idea of wealth. Maybe people who have money trigger you in a way. It's definitely possible. But knowing at the same time that all the wealth you need is literally on the planet, you know, every resource is created from the earth. So let's see what you can do about healing this energy. How can you, what are the healing messages, please? We have the Knight of Cups. It's like cultivating yourself. The King of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. I'm going to elaborate on these actually. The Moon with the Knight of Cups. It kind of feels as though the Knight of Swords, like this figure wasn't able to see the value in the value, that wealth that comes from your spirituality and your way of being. They weren't able to recognize you really on that level. And I feel like this Knight of, or the King of Swords, was moving too quickly into just a lot of judgment. Again, judgment is coming through fairly strongly, and what you can do about healing it. Let's see, because your view on the Pentacles is like it's fleeting. Like money tends to fleet, or you have this idea of like you don't feel secure all the time when it comes to finances, and it's like you want to be known for what you offer the world energetically, and that's something that's not seen or acknowledged within the male figure. How could you go about healing this? I'll show you this first. So we have here the Knight of Cups. This card was clarified by the Moon. So this feels like you being intuitively driven, yet there's these sides to you that not everyone can fully appreciate. And then we have the King of Swords, which was clarified by the Knight of Swords. So lots of judgment, very fast moving, I feel like part of the healing process is actually connecting with someone who can see you. And I know that's kind of like, you might want to do self-healing, but I think that interaction with another human being would help in that, knowing that the energy you have can be felt and recognized on that level. The Ace and Seven of Swords. Maybe changing the mindset that you have around material wealth. It almost seems as though this person's hoarding. So maybe, interestingly enough, this masculine figure, this father figure or partner, or what have you, clings to money tightly, and yet like they don't spend well, and like they fall for every trap as far as like buy one get one frees and things like that, where they aren't aware of the way they spend money. So how can you go about healing this? It has to do with perspective. Wow. And then the bottom of the deck was the Queen of Wands. Wow. So interestingly enough, this is all Wands energy as far as the healing goes. This was at the bottom of the deck with the Queen, the Lion, and then we have the Three of Wands and the Page of Wands. Sense of being patient, but also having a mental fixed point as to your expectations on how people react to. It's like believing in a shift, really. Believing in a shift in perspective of finances and the idea of wealth. That it's like you want your spiritual wealth to be apparent somehow. I feel like part of it is connecting, again, with like-minded people. It's attracting a new kind of masculine energy. It's this. And this could manifest in a person, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But I think it's easier to see when it's physically happening, because we have a lot of different people involved. And one type of person that you might tend to attract, or the ones that kind of trigger you in a way, they're just really quick. They're just on to the next thing. They consume a lot, probably, of media, of like YouTube. No offense. Not, you know what I'm getting at, but like just hours on end, or on Hulu or what have you. On to the next thing, buying the next item. Not really heart-centered, which is something that you want to be. And that ties, there's like a financial backbone to all of this, where it's the idea of having enough to show off, being wealthy to make sure other people know, as opposed to being true to yourself, regardless of whether or not anyone will ever know. And you want that, but you also want some sort of physical. I mean, that's where we are. We're in a physical reality, so you want that to manifest somehow. And I think part of that is expecting that it will, and switching this Knight to become a fire figure, the Page of Wands, someone who's very inspired, who acts with inspiration as opposed to from the mind. I hope this is coming across clearly, because it feels clear in my head, but I'm not sure if it's coming out that way. It's like accepting these people as people who act from the mind, who place a lot of weight on, let's say, book smarts, book knowledge, but knowing that other people exist, and that's the same for you when it comes to accessing different parts of yourself. That there is an inspired part of yourself that can bring about recognition. Let's get another oracle card for additional message. Challenge, opposition. Yeah, I'd say considering all of the different court cards, that's what that feels like. There's different people with different expectations. And then we have at the bottom integrity, compass. And that's because you are the Knight of Cups, who's very intuitive. You know the way, and sometimes you feel like you have to try and fit in with other people's idea of wealth and that idea of abundance, but really, I think the biggest gift you can give yourself is that peace of mind and knowing that energetically the way you feel is going to bring about the most enjoyable experience. 2-7. Yeah, the only other 7 I see is the 7 of Swords. And that could be your opposition here. It's like within your mind, that father figure still kind of telling you, well, I feel like that might be influencing your decisions and the people you hang out with at times. To appear a certain way, to interact with certain people, and it is limiting, and there's this part of you that wants to expand to meet different types of people and try. It's like even picking up a hobby in the back, it's like, can I make money off of this, as opposed to just being passionate. So I think that's that change. Look at the color palette too, how it reflects in this oracle card. So taking action from the heart center, inspired action, and clearing that relationship you have with the masculine part of yourself, the one that tries to categorize everything and make sense of a world that doesn't need to be, completely understood, because that understanding comes from energy, and that energy is beyond comprehension sometimes. So hopefully this reading was helpful. It's a little different. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the green fuchsite, this is going to be your reading. And I have 3 cards here for you already pulled out intuitively. I haven't looked at them yet. One of them is an oracle card, and this card is going to say what needs healing. And then we have 2 tarot cards kind of elaborating on that. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading, a collective reading, so if you want something personal, I do offer that in the description box below. And I'm going to be reading from the book from this one because, yeah. But I'll show it to you, and I'm sorry, mess up the name, Baglamukti. I don't know why I just decided to use this particular deck for the reading. She is holding a cow's tongue, so it feels like some sort of ritual. And then we have the 3 of Cups and the universe, which is the world. Interesting. We have Mercury showing up again. So, yeah, I'll just mention it. The other pile had Mercury in a way, and it's kind of this expression again. Part of this feels like trusting the universe, having faith in why everything's happening. So there might have been a lack of trust in that regards, a lack of connection with like-minded people, and kind of healing the viewpoint of how everything comes together. But we're gonna see. The number was 23 as well. That might be something significant for you, but we'll see. Okay, so she is a beautiful avatar of Kali, known for her golden light. She is also called Pitambra Devi, or the goddess dressed in yellow. The tongue is the symbol of speech. So yeah, I did mention Mercury in speech as well. Speech is sound expressed with intention. Sound is creative power. Intention gives a direction. So yeah, trusting that there's an audience for what you have to say. I think that's why the Three of Cups is here as well. Trusting that there are people who are like you, and it's kind of like that world opens up once you trust that what you have to say has value and that it's okay. I feel as though there might have been people who try to shut you down before or kind of mocked you, and I think that might be why she's wearing or holding the club, the weapon there, is to defend against that. And I feel with the lotus in the bottom that part of your journey has been blossoming into someone who's very comfortable with speaking and realize the power of your voice. And with the yellow and gold, I guess I'm dressed for the occasion here. So definitely solar plexus or sacral chakra, more solar plexus, and having the confidence in being vocal. But this feels like that part of what needed healing or needs healing. I say needed because I feel like most of you are doing well as far as the healing is concerned, but finding your place in the world and belonging and connecting with people and even throat chakra work as well, communicating, expressing who you are, that there is a place for you. You do belong here. Let's see what you need to know about healing this. Yeah, I'll just take all of these. So I have 4 cards. One is the Queen of Wands. There's a lot of confidence, and this card was gonna pop out, and it was just teasing me for quite a while. So there's that confidence that, again, that has to do with trusting what you have to say, trusting that you have value and you have worth, and that you have the ability to attract like-minded people, and that you don't have to lose your integrity to connect with others. You don't have to hold your tongue. We have, 3 of Pentacles. So a lot of connections here, a lot of reaching out, collaborating. And that might have been something that was blocking you, is that you felt the need to isolate yourself, to be completely independent. And that's not that you can't be, but it's like to rely solely on, to be like a hermit, and to say I cannot possibly work with other people because no one could possibly understand what I have to say. This is saying that isn't true, that there are people who can connect with you, and that together you could actually build a lot more. So the 3 of Cups and the 3 of Pentacles. I was trying to remember if 3 of Pentacles was Mercury, but I don't remember. The King of Pentacles. Yes. I'm going to clarify this King of Pentacles. But this feels more like standing secure within yourself, having the throne, feeling stable and steady and confident. And then we have the Lovers. This is very nice. Could be with finding a partner potentially as you shift into confidence and expressing yourself fully. That this, again, could be a love relationship, but more so, it feels like connecting with like-minded people again. We get the same hand-holding here. It's like you're connecting with those who share the same values, share the same energy, and that's why this universe is here as well. Is that sorry about that. It was an alarm. I'm probably not going to edit that out. So anyway, yeah, that the universe has a place for you, that you are meant to connect with others. Let's clarify this. King of Pentacles. I mean, this could be another person. This could be, if you're in a relationship now and you're confident. Maybe if some of you are kind of iffy about this relationship, I mean, not seeking someone else out, but more of really focusing on creativity and expressing yourself might lead you to somebody new. With the King of Pentacles, yeah, it feels like being seen. With the six of seven of wands here, showing an audience. Because this was the King of Pentacles, I feel like this might be attracting that king, but otherwise, like the king would be on his throne, there's a large amount of people who recognize you. It's like you become an authority. That's what it is. You've become an authority in a particular area, particular subject. And because we do have the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles, so there is that partnership, and we have a lot of collaboration, a lot of coming together. So, and with the Lovers here, it's kind of hard not to notice that you might attract a partner who's really in line with you. And even the Universe card has the Sun and the Moon in it. I don't know if you could see that. Very close. So there's a very strong sense of coming together. It's hard to say that that's not what's happening, because we have the Two of Cups as well. Very, very strong indication of relationship. Again, like if that's not something you're looking for, it might even just happen. But otherwise, this is really strong. The Lovers and the Two of Cups, the Queen of Wands and the King of Pentacles, the Three of Cups and the Three of Pentacles. Like, this is a lot of relationship energy. And it might even feel that way as, again, part of the healing is connecting with people at a heart level, where at the deepest part of who you are, someone else is almost the exact same way. They see the world in a similar way. They have the same energy, and I think once you connect with a person, but more like a group of people, you could accomplish so much more and actually finally feel like, oh yeah, you're meant to be here, you know? So let's get an oracle card. Okay, so the one that came up first was Turmoil, the Storm. I feel like this is part of the thing that needs healing. If this is how you feel right now, it's a lot of mental, emotional energy that is, as you could imagine, causing a discomfort within yourself, especially with the mind there. There's actually a boat sailing. I feel like that's where you're at now. So grounding would be very helpful. And I feel like the turmoil has to do with communication. You feel like someone's going to get you or cut your tongue if you say something that's out of line, but what you have to say will really bring you towards people who actually can see you as someone that is worth looking up to, really. You're gaining that audience. And then we have divine, design, unknown. The 3 and 9, is that 3? Yeah, 3 and 9. So 3 coming up again. And this feels very similar to this world card, I have to say. So you might not know the path to getting those connections, to finding these people. You don't know how exactly that's going to happen, but it's as simple as expressing yourself, of speaking what's on your mind, and being the fullest version of yourself, and walking in confidence. Because when you walk in confidence, when you're really connected to your solar plexus chakra, you don't doubt anymore, and people will notice that. And somehow, as the universe indicates, as I put the card away, as the universe indicates, it's like you'll have that luck as well. You'll have that things will just open up to you. The turmoil will go away, and you'll be able to create with other people, especially with the solar plexus again, or sacral chakra. It's coming together to create with people and connect. So this is very positive. I'm going to close the reading off there. Hopefully you liked it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care. Hi, pile 3. If you chose the green calcite, this is going to be your reading. And I have right now 3 cards that I chose intuitively. Well, I shuffled and they popped out. That's what that means, I think. Anyway, one is an oracle card, and then the other 2 are tarot, and these are all representing what needs healing. And then I'm going to draw some additional tarot just to find out how you can go about healing, or what that healing process is. So let's take a look. We have, sorry, I don't know how to say this, Yuga Shakti. I'm getting kind of similar feelings from one of the other piles, if you were kind of drawn to that. This is very wild, Kali, the tongue out, speaking without holding back, with the third eye wide open. Getting like the sense of being a channel. With the number 13. I'm going to read from the book. I don't usually use this deck, but I was drawn to do so today. Excuse me. Okay, unexpectedly and suddenly, a new spiritual dawn shall arise. An entirely new era is due to unfold. Keep close to Ma. She shall ensure it will be brought into being in the best way, at the best time. Even when our intentions are noble, in effect, our actions can create further suffering. I'm jumping around. Kali's tongue represents her wild mystery teaching. The tongue is the organ of discernment, digestion, and speech. It assists us in taking the right things into expressing of what we choose. She demands surrender of our futile attempts to control that which is beyond our sphere of understanding, until that pain transforms into the sweet pleasure of release. Even the right thing cannot attain fruition at the wrong time. Okay. maybe that'll make a little more sense in the future, but I do get that sense of expressing yourself fully, and allowing things to unfold. We have the 9 of Swords, which is the 9 of Keys. We have Mars and Gemini. That might be, there's this trying to move when the things aren't really ready for that. It's like this key is trying to force its way out when the environment isn't really suitable for that sort of movement. It almost feels like the tongue wants to speak, but the mind doesn't have everything coming clearly. And it's interesting that I mentioned channeling, because there's that kind of sense of when you channel, the mind has to be clear so that like the information just comes through. But when it's cluttered, it's hard to trust the things that are coming out. And then we have the Ace of Candles, that inspiration. So it's like part of what needs healing is there's this creative spark that wants to manifest, and it's almost like you might have tried to force it into being. Like you need to create something, but it's still being formulated within like the ethereal realms, the non-physical, but you want it now and it isn't ready, and so there's kind of that friction which makes it slower. So this might have to do with being patient, actually, clearing the mind. So what needs healing is the mind mostly, because the creative spark is already there. It's a lot of patience as well, like with patience and stillness, that thing that you want to manifest, whether it be a partner, a friendship, or definitely more on the creative side with the tongue axe. And here we go. We have the 8 of Wands. This is how you could heal. The Knight of Wands and the Fool. So again, this is so I'll be honest, like all of these have something to do with expressing and communicating. The 4 of Pentacles. Be wild. I think that's actually the healing energy as well. Like, allow yourself to go a little bit. I feel like with the Fool and the Knight of Wands, and there's the Ace of Candles, and then there's also the 4 of Pentacles. It feels like you might be a bit stagnant in your approach to living. It's like the Ace of Candles is here, and then the 9 of Swords. There's that conflicting energy of, well, I want to move and be free, but your mind is not allowing it. You're like, well, this has to happen first, or people will judge me, or this and that. Especially the Fool card being here as well. And I'd made reference to the third eye, which is sparkling in that image as well. So moving freely. Be wild in some way. Like, do something out of your comfort zone. I think that would break the pattern. I said that weird. Pattern. We have the 4 of Cups here. The inability to see kind of new opportunities that you could only see with your third eye, really. So it's like with the and with the Four of Pentacles and the Nine, there's, if I can't see it, I'm not moving. That sort of thing going on, where especially Capricorn, the Sun in Capricorn could be very comfortable being stagnant. Then we have the Queen of Swords as well, and it looks as though the Queen of Swords is saying, stop, no, don't go. So I think part of what you're not seeing is the influence of your mind in what's stopping this really creative venture. Like, she can't tell how much of an influence she's creating for herself that's preventing this energy. Okay. It's a lot of red, so it's like, how can we get this energy out? How can we get you moving? Feeling free to create and express yourself fully. Let's actually get this Knight of Wands. And the Fool, I guess. Yeah, the Sun and Strength, wow. With the Shadow at the bottom of the deck. Which is the Devil card. But it isn't, because this is a shadow, and it's different. Like, don't be afraid to show your shadow, to be this, because it is a part of who you are. Everyone has a shadow, especially with the Sun out. And the Sun is right underneath the Fool. So it's kind of like you're being put... Oh no, I lied. Whoops. I forgot now. No, yeah. The Sun was underneath the Knight of Wands. It's your inner guidance. That Sun is what is trying to express itself through you. And so when you feel that desire to kind of dance, move, be seen, that's your creative expression. That's why this Ace of Candles was here when it comes to healing. It's like, allow it. Allow this flame to be seen. Again, be wild. With Kali here. And that takes strength. That's why the Strength card is here. It's underneath the Fool. Right, showing the Fool. It's like, do you have the courage to express yourself, regardless of the judgment? And the Strength card being underneath the Fool kind of reminds me of the Shadow as well, kind of taming it. Kind of, sorry about that. Okay. Kind of taming that, the self-doubt, more so than anything else. So yeah, the Shadow, this wild side, it's like it wants to express it. It feels like your shadow might even be the one that'll help you express yourself fully. It's like not caring. I don't give a damn about what anyone has to say, because I don't know, it almost feels like the Shadow bypasses the Queen of Swords in this situation. All of that structure could go, itself, and so there's a lot of this bright energy, there's a lot of overcoming, the comfort of being stagnant and secure and safe, while it can't really be free. So let's see the Oracle card before we close out the reading. What Oracle message do we have? So the first one was the builder, effort. It's interesting because perception, dreamer, that one on the floor is very important. And that's why it's in the center of your reading, this one right here, the strength card. I'll get to it, it's down there. The cards that fall on the floor are always the most important. That's why I got all excited. So yeah, we have effort. What's taking effort? What feels like you're exerting too much energy for what you're getting? You feel to me like the figure that's sitting there. It's like, well, everyone else is working and doing the normal thing, but I'm bored. This is uninteresting. That might be that security that comes with this. It's like, well, it's safe and everyone's doing it. That isn't your deepest level. That isn't who you are. We have perception, the dreamer, with the number 30. This is probably what you're daydreaming about. Somewhat similar to this energy, which is she's all about just do it then. get out of your head and do it. It doesn't matter. It's like, and then the one on the floor is strength, Lionheart. Be bold. This is who you are. Look at that. It's easy to, when people say tame the beast or the shadow, but you are that shadow too. I think that's something that people kind of forget. They try to heal it or do this with it or destroy the ego and all this and that. But at the end of the day, you're the shadow as well. And I think when you come to terms with that and you not necessarily tame it as much as dance with it, that's when your power really shines and when you could be very free. Free to create a life you want, free to be who you are. So hopefully this reading was helpful. Please let me know how it did in the comments. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you so much for your time. I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.